In Abidjan on Thursday, West African leaders gave putsch leaders 72 hours to follow their decisions or face targeted sanctions. The threats appeared to work. The military putsch leaders reduced the transition period from 2 years to 1, and they accepted that a West African military contingent go to Bissau. But the situation in Guinea-Bissau, known as a center of drug trafficking, is delicate. West African leaders are meeting again on May 3rd in Dakar.
Hundreds of supporters of the Muslim Brotherhood and the more radical Salafist group have been demonstrating against the ruling military junta in Egypt. The Brotherhood is unhappy about the final list of presidential candidates released by the Electoral Commission. The list contains the name of Ahmed Safi, the man who was the last prime minister under Hosni Mubarak. We have details in this report.
Upon the request of Islamic activists from both the Muslim Brotherhood and the more radical Salafist party, hundreds of Egyptians spent Friday night in front of the Defense Ministry in Cairo and then Saturday demonstrating with the order to save the revolution. Facing rows of soldiers, the demonstrators were chanting the words "peaceful, peaceful," and then "down with the power of the military." Islamic representatives have a majority in the Parliament and Senate and now have gotten organized against Marshal Tantawi, the head of the Military Supreme Council that is still running the show in Egypt.
We must topple military rule and form a civilian government. The government of Al-Ganzouri has done nothing but provoke crises in sugar, fuel, gas, and other things.
It was the latest manipulations by the Electoral Commission that they call the Falsification Commission that set the Islamic ball rolling. In accordance with a new law ratified by the Marshal that forbids officials of the Mubarak regime to run in the upcoming presidential election, the Commission presented a final list of 13 candidates. The list included the name of Ahmad Shafiq, the last prime minister under Hosni Mubarak. Shafiq had been pulled off the list before appealing, and then he was put back on. Only 2 days from the beginning of the campaigns for the first round of voting on May 23rd and 24th, the Islamic activists did not appreciate this. So they took to the streets of Cairo, Alexandria, and Al-Fayoum in order to, as they said, save the revolution.
Detained Chinese pro-democracy activist Cheng Chuang-chen have escaped from house arrest, but his whereabouts have not been established. Chinese officials are coy about the location of the blind dissident who has been a strident critic of China's one-child policy and corruption in the communist country. A human rights activist in Beijing says Chen is in safe hiding in the Chinese capital. Let's look at the CFI report for more.
Chen Guangchong, a blind Chinese dissident and lawyer who escaped house arrest last weekend. Chen had been under house arrest since his release from prison in 2010. He's using distant news websites to continue protests against China's one-child policy, forced abortions, sterilizations and corruption.
There is a very high level of corruption. Money and power are used recklessly. Therefore, I am asking Prime Minister Wen to investigate and to deal with corrupt behavior.
The release of photos of Mr. Chen with another Chinese activist, Hu Jia, have embarrassed Beijing. China's Vice Foreign Minister refused to answer questions about Chen's whereabouts.
Your question does not come within the scope of the news brief, so I have no information to offer you.
According to China Aid, a human rights group, Mr. Chen is under U.S. protection and remains in Beijing.
I can share with you is Chen Guangchong is right now in a 100% safe environment and location in Beijing.
The claim has not been confirmed by the U.S. authorities. However, the case is sensitive and is causing diplomatic embarrassment during annual talks between the two powers.
We now take our second break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Sambakala village have been crowned the 2012 champions of the Dr. Njoguba-sponsored football tournament, this after beating Medina Serengas by 1-0 in a thrilling final. Modest Jallo was watching the final that brought the tournament that saw the participation of 16 villages to an end, and he now reports.
A stunning second-half strike by Morukor was enough to crown Sambakala village the 2012 champions of the Dr. Njoguba-sponsored football tournament. It was a colorful final with great fanfare generated by hundreds of spectators who stormed the Medina Serengas football field. Watching alongside Dr. Njoguba was the Minister of Youth and Sports, the National Assembly member for Upper Nyomi, and a host of distinguished personalities. It was a game of few chances, as both sides failed to create any clear-cut chances in the first 45 minutes. Playing at home in front of their fans, Medina United looked the more dominant side in the first period, enjoying much of the possession, but hardly did they manage to break down the visitors, who remained very compact. Despite a dull first half, the fanfare on the sideline was just extraordinary, as fans of the two teams enjoyed every moment of the game. The second period was more entertaining and purposeful, with the two teams stepping up the tempo of the game. 5 minutes after the restart, Medina United's Buram Jai had his decent effort from distance saved by the goalkeeper. From that moment on, Sambakala village started showing some signs of attacking football. Mustafa Sen received a good pass in the box, but the skillful number 10's weak effort on goal lacked any power to trouble the Medina goalkeeper. The decisive moment of the game came in the 60th minute, when Modukor's 35-yard screamer landed into the back of the net after a goalkeeping howler. The midfielder brilliantly controlled the ball before trying his luck from distance, a sensational goal worth winning the trophy. Medina United responded by throwing more men forward in search of an equalizer, but all their efforts were frustrated by a resolute defending. At the end, it was a famous win for Sambakala village and a memorable moment for the traveling fans. A remarkable climax to yet another successful tournament, much to the satisfaction of the sponsor.
Potential of them uniting, coming together, and it is because of that that really motivated me, to whatever I had, I wanted to share it with them, so that I can bring them together and then counsel them, advise them, talk to them about the importance, of unity, the importance of them coming together in support of His Excellency the President. That is what is motivating me. When I put them all together, bring them all together, I want to hand them over to His Excellency the President. That these are the youth that we can leave our tomorrow in their hands, because they are our future leaders. And I want to invest in them. And that's what motivated me. Bring the villages together, bring the young ones together.
The Minister of Youth and Sports commended the Secretary General and the head of the civil service for complementing the Sports Ministry's grassroots development and decentralization process.
Very much impressed. He's encouraged us, and we are hoping other people will be encouraged as well to go down to their communities and do exactly what he is doing. As I said, that will help the ministry, it will help the government to decentralize and develop sports and the country by extension.
The champions went away with a trophy and $5,000 as winners of the 2012 Dr. Njoguba Trophy. Medina United received $3,000 as runners-up. Last, it was a happy journey back home for the champions. Modest Jallo, GRT Sports.
And before we go, a reminder of our headlines. The state has conferred national honors of varying classes and a record 300 outstanding contributions to national development. Women in the Upper River region are poised to harness the power of mobile phone technology to better their lot and surmount their communication challenges. Military officials have released the deposed interim Bissau-Guinean president and the prime minister barely 24 hours after ECOWAS leaders asked the junta to endorse a plan to return the country to constitutional order. And the blind Chinese activist Chen Guangchen has made a daring escape from house arrest, but officials in Beijing are not saying much about the development. You are reminded that you can also follow those stories and other GRTS programs live on our website at www.grts.gm. There you can also monitor GRTS Radio Live. That does it for this edition of the news. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of our programs and have a nice Sunday.